Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Opinionated thoughtbotter. I'm so happy to be here with you again. My name is Svenja Schäfer. I'm a developer and team lead here at thoughtbot. And with me today, we have Fritz. Just as a reminder, the Opinionated thoughtbotter is some kind of interview I do with my fellow colleagues about one of their opinions. And I hope you enjoy it. Welcome, Fritz. Can you say a few words about who you are?
I can. Thanks for having me on. I'm Fritz. I'm also a developer and team lead. I live in London and I have opinions.
That's great. So let's hear one of them. So, what is your opinion, Fritz?
Right. My opinion is that every developer should learn to touch type.
Okay. I have questions.
Go for
What
it.
is touch type? What is touch type? I never heard that.
There. Okay. So it's typing without moving your hands from the home row on the keyboard. So you put your index finger on the left side on the F and your index finger on the right side on the J. And
Okay.
this assumes, an English QWERTY layout keyboard, but and then J, K, L, semicolon is where your four pointy fingers go on the right-hand
Okay.
side, and F, D, S, A. And then the point is you don't need to look at the keyboard in order to type. Your fingers just know where to move.
That's touch typing.
That's touch typing, yeah.
Wow. Okay. So it's like blind typing.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
Is it important that my fingers are on the correct keys, or is it more important that I just like type without looking at the keyboard?
For me, what's important here is that you can watch the screen as you type, so you can see what's happening while you're typing and getting feedback immediately. There are other good reasons why learning where your fingers should go is beneficial in terms of typing speed and reducing strain on your hands, but that's not what I care about.
Why do you think every developer should learn it or should know it?
Yeah, because people type half a page of text and they've made a mistake and they look up and they don't know where to find the mistake that they've just made.
In which context? Like in code,
Coding.
or when there's so why code? So you say when I do have my screen here, my bigger screen here. So you say when I code, I should not. Yeah, I should kind of blind code.
Yeah, well, you should be seeing the code as it appears, not looking at your hands, trying to make sure that your hands are doing the right things. Your hands know
Why
what
is that
to,
important? Why is that important?
because that way you see immediately when you make a mistake.
Mm, but isn't the and I don't want to put you on the spot, right? But isn't it just like when I code, and if I wouldn't, so I do think I do touch type, because while I don't use the position of the fingers that you just like
Oh, yeah.
described,
Yeah.
I usually, I don't look at the keyboard, but I just like try to understand if I would look at the keyboard and I would code, um, and then I would see a mistake, I would just like go bad, because I don't write a whole like text or novel
Mhm.
in order to not know, okay, there's an issue, there's an error.
But you can, especially if your editor is good with giving you feedback, like little red squiggles, you can pick it up on like the very character you type the problem, and your mind hasn't moved on to something else. It's not disrupting your flow to go back to see to fix
Okay,
it.
I do get that one. For that, I sometimes have aliases in my configuration file. So
Hmm.
because I constantly mistype something, so then I just like put in an alias for that.
Yeah.
Do you think it's more like if you don't do that, if you don't do touch type, do you think it's more an issue when you pair on something, so that the other one gets maybe distracted, or is it also when you code on your own?
I think it's both. But since I am touch typing, I don't get frustrated by it when I'm coding on my own. So I can't really, I can't give you input on whether it would work individually if I weren't touch typing, because I'm never not touch typing. But it does infuriate me to see somebody making a mistake and not being able to deal with it, and taking a really long time to find the problem because it's like a minute and a half before they look up.
In the pairing session with you, that is.
Mhm.
That's interesting. I want to hear more about that. So, why is it infuriating? Because your flow gets distracted or breaks, or why is it infuriating if someone else make a typo and just like realize it after a minute?
Well, it's really inefficient. I mean, so obviously using the word infuriating, that talks to a specific
I love it.
emotional reaction from me. So let's think about this. So there is something that's gone wrong, even if neither of us spots it when they type it. But if the other person then takes a long time and they think that the problem is where they're currently typing instead of where they were 12 lines before, that's bad.
But you are there as well. You could point it out then as well.
Yeah, but then there's a stage where we have to negotiate, and I have to explain to the person, don't look at line 17, look at line 5.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's assume it's very important that everyone learns how to touch type and knows how to touch type. Because it would just like calm our minds. We would be very happy. We enjoy the pairing sessions. How could I start if I don't know how to do that? And I don't want to see
Yeah.
infuriated Fritz.
There's lots of typing tutors on the web. So just Google for touch typing, and you'll find a game that will teach you where to place your fingers and present challenges progressively as you learn how to use more and more fingers correctly.
Is that how you learned it?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, my school had a typing course when I was very small, and I did not care until the other kids told me that I was bad at computers, and computers were my thing, so I had to beat them.
Oh, rude. Why did you say that?
Well, they didn't say exactly that, but I mean, they were trying to get under my skin because they knew computers were my thing, but I wasn't doing well at this typing thing, so
And
then I
then
had to
you
learn how to
became the
type.
pro in typing.
Yeah, I crushed them.
Crushed them. Here, everyone. Yeah, Fritz crushed them. That's amazing. So, how long did it take? Do you remember? I mean, when it was like
A
in
few
school,
weeks.
but how long?
A few
Really?
weeks.
It's that
Just
fast?
yeah, just a bit of practice as well. Yeah.
So if you do the games and you would say just like right away, just like don't look at all anymore at
Mhm.
the keyboard, and
Mhm.
then okay. So it would speed up things as well, as I said, apart from not causing
Yeah.
any emotions that we don't want to have during work. I think a bit differently about speeding up things, because I think we are in a society where everything rushes and rushes, and oh yeah, we have to make this faster, and we have to make decisions faster, and everything is just like faster. I just like want to enjoy
Mm.
coding, and I don't want it. It's just like I really like that. I really like to. Okay. I mean, I don't like if something is very, very slow. If I see
Mhm.
like, oh, it's loading, nothing is
Mm.
worse than
Mm.
that. But it's, I don't know. I'm not sure. I want it for the benefit of just like speeding things up.
Mm. I think it's about cognitive load more than speeding things up.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you heard the spoon analogy?
That you have a specific amount of spoons per
Yeah.
day, and if you feel, yeah, I know them from dog training actually. They only
Ah,
have a few spoons per day and scenarios or situations they can handle before they become reactive, for example, when it's just like,
yeah.
yeah,
So that that bit where you interrupt your flow to look up at the screen if you're not looking at it normally and work out where your typo was, that's taking away spoons.
oh yeah, yeah, I do feel that. I do, yeah, I really agree on that. Okay, here's the thing. I've
Mhm.
wrote about it before. There's a blog post out there. What if you don't use your hands at all? What if you just like
Mhm.
switch to voice coding?
Mhm. That's awesome. That's great. Because you are probably looking at the screen while you're speaking. So
Yeah,
if you are looking at the screen and getting instant feedback as you're creating the input, that's perfect.
yeah. I do think I'm now, but I'm still at a state where I have to correct it so often. So
Mm,
it disrupts the flow at the moment, like
mm,
way more than it's useful,
mm,
unfortunately.
mm,
But I would like to do that because you mentioned like problems with the wrist or just like um yeah
mhm,
that's why I really would like to learn a little bit more about
mm, mm.
coding by voice. Are you then a fan of auto completion, maybe?
Yeah, that's fine. Again, you need to be watching the screen so that you can see you've gotten the right auto completion. But
Yeah.
that's also actually something that irritates me is when I can see that on the screen there's an auto completion being offered, but because the person is watching their keyboard, they don't spot the auto completion. They're losing time that way as well.
Okay. Here's the thing. I have autocompletion disabled quite often because it
Mm,
autocompletes wrongly.
mm,
And what do
mm,
you think is better than learning how to touch type? Or for me, I know how to touch type, but I disable autocompletion. But it's this still disrupting the flow if I would enable autocompletion. I'm not sure what's better because yes, touch typing helps with one thing, but
mhm,
even if you touch type, there might be errors and issues,
mm,
and it will disrupt the flow. And if we say the main reason why we should learn how to touch type is to figure out what kind of mistakes we do, but mistakes are there like anyhow. So no matter if you touch type or not.
Well, it depends what we're comparing it to, but if you're watching the keyboard while you're typing, then you're making more mistakes than if you are watching the screen. That's assuming that you have enough practice to get it right. Like if you're a beginner typist, then
Yeah,
that's different. But I think
yeah.
a lot of people get to like good enough and don't realize that they can do better.
What do you do in these cases? Let's say we do have a pairing
Mm,
sessions.
mm, mm.
I do touch typing, but I do it very slow, for example, and then I make mistakes, and then I go back. Is that
Oh, I think that would be fine. It's more seeing someone typing past mistakes that frustrates me. Seeing someone typing past mistakes and it's not deliberate, and then you look up and you're mystified about why it doesn't work. That's the problem. So
yeah?
if you were typing slowly, but you were still getting all the useful signals about what's going wrong, that wouldn't matter. That would be fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's actually nice. That's very welcoming, I think. You mentioned that it's every developer should learn how to touch type. What about other folks? What about designers, project managers?
Yeah, I make the initial statement in a way that I can speak to the place where I have expertise.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do think every computer user should learn to touch type, but I know the field of writing code better, so I speak more strongly about that. But I would say that it probably looks different. Like for a computer gamer, maybe they are using some keys on the keyboard and and their hand on a mouse the rest of the time for pointing. That's fine. They're doing the most efficient thing for the job that they are doing. Same, maybe a designer has a like thing that they're like a pad they're drawing on. Their hands on the keyboard. That's also fine because the main thing they're doing at that moment is creating input by another means. The one thing that is completely unacceptable to me, since we're talking about opinionated things, if you are writing code with a keyboard, you never need to touch your mouse. And if you do need to touch your mouse, get a different editor. Or learn your editor better, because every editor has shortcuts.
I'm not sure if I'm offended. This is my mouse. I absolutely love it, and I always use it.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Why?
Well, okay. There are some exceptions, like if I'm switching to a browser to check the results of my work and I need to click somewhere on the screen, then it's kind of difficult to avoid that. But there's no other use case where I need to move my hands to a trackpad or a mouse. I can just leave my hands exactly where they are on the home rows. Oh, also arrow keys. Don't use arrow keys.
Okay, I don't use arrow keys. I guess I believe I don't think I use them. Now I'm just like open. I use Visual Studio Code, by the way. Yes, I do use my mouse heavily. Every time I go to a different file, I want to open. I want to.
Oh no!
No, for searching. Not for searching.
Okay.
Oh no! But if I search in a file, I don't use it. But if I go back to the tree and I look for a file, to look up for a file, no. Just like if I need to see the tree visually, then I use the mouse. I think, yeah. Otherwise, to open a file, etc., I don't. No, I don't use it. No. To close all tabs, I use the mouse.
No, but you can do Command W to close tabs.
No, but I don't want to.
Don't,
It's just
don't
like
press it in the browser now because you'll end the StreamYard session.
Let's try that. No, yeah, exactly. You see, then these things happen. So no,
in the file tree example, so yeah, you often need to see things in context. So that means files within paths. But there's probably a keyboard shortcut to switch to the file tree section of the window, and then you can move up and down. I'll allow arrow keys for that case. I wouldn't use arrow keys because I use Vim key bindings for everything. But if your editor doesn't let you move up and down without them, then that would be acceptable.
But just like to be fair, I mean, not to be fair, but to be honest, arrow keys are keys. They are on my keyboard. I can do touch typing and I use them blindly. So what's the issue if I use them?
Yeah. So if you can actually use them blindly, that's okay from a feedback perspective. Then it's more down to like hand strain concerns and speed. Vim key bindings are great because they keep your hands in that touch typing space while you move up and down.
Why is it an issue if I do use blindly the mouse while I type? I use my left hand to type and my right hand to move the mouse, and I'm fast.
Just the time it takes to move back and forward.
But what if I really enjoy it?
You enjoy? Okay, well, if you enjoy it, then I guess that's up to you. I think it does take away from flow, but maybe it doesn't for other people.
It doesn't annoy you if I would use the mouse. It would more annoy you if you would need to use the mouse. Or does it annoy you when you see the pointer? Or Is the error moving?
I was pairing with somebody this week, and I saw their mouse pointer moving to a section of their editor where they run the tests from to click a play button. I do think it would. I did give them feedback that there's a key binding that they could use to do that instead. So I think it's about things that you do really often. Like if you type a line of code and then run the tests, then you are going to wind up spending a lot of time moving your hand to the mouse.
Yeah, I mean, for these repeated tasks, I again use aliases. So I have alias to run a single test file, and I just type RSF, for example, and then mostly, very often, error app, because well, I run the test several times sometimes. And without this interrupting the flow, so to say. Yeah. But,
yeah, you've actually just named the one case where I do use arrow keys, is just pressing the up arrow inside a terminal.
Yeah, either that or that's another thing. I can't even tell you what keys I press, but I press them blindly and they are correct. So is it Command R or is it Control R to go through the to search through the last commands?
Yeah, Control R. Yeah.
Control R. Yeah. So that's the other thing I use.
Isn't it interesting? Like Control R must be a standard for some part of the software stack we use. We just know that in terminals we can press Control R to see the history, but I don't know what software it is that provides that. Is it like iTerm? Is it like Zash or Fish that I use on top of Bash? Is it
Control R? I don't. Now everything is in Spanish here, so we don't want to go there. But yeah, that is interesting. I don't know. I'm a fan of using aliases for as many commands as possible, because very often I don't remember anything else, and I just I like to do that. It's kind of helper for, in addition to touch typing.
Yeah, every developer's on a journey making things more efficient as they go. And at some point we do find ourselves in equilibrium and there's no reason to change. And the effort is better spent elsewhere. There is an interesting thing, is if we end up having AI doing all our coding, then we might need something different. But for the moment, all of my AI use is inside my editor where I drive it with key bindings.
You mean you use AI for that, or you don't use AI for that?
Well, I do. I mean, AI isn't writing all my code, but when I am using AI features, then it's inside my editor. But I could see a future where we're just managing agents, and then maybe we need something different. But I still think, well, it's like the emphasis on giving input and immediately seeing the response. It still is useful. At least at the moment, the dominant way of interacting with LLMs is chat. And the LLMs get things wrong when we get our prompts wrong. So it's still useful to see the feedback when you type.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I like to be explicit, and for me, AI is not explicit. That's why I try to not use it. Or, not in these cases. Thank you so much, Fritz. Time is over. That was very interesting. Just a reminder, nobody needs to be scared to pair with Fritz. He's amazing to pair with. And if you want to learn how to touch type, we can make a little touch type contest next time. If anybody wants to join, just comment down here. Thanks again for joining this episode. It was absolutely lovely. And yeah, anything you want to say before we leave?
No, it was good fun. Thank you.
Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.